AskReddit by Cloud Organic 2939. What is the most bizarre senior prank that happened at your school? Ducks in the principal's office. Calves on the roof. This was one of my good friends that did this. We went to an old 1850s large high school with a central courtyard that used to be open to the outside. In the 80s they put a glass roof over the courtyard, tiled the floor and made it an area for kids to eat lunch year round. This was 4-story building and my friend ordered 2 cases of bouncy balls. He then went up to the 4th floor and dumped the bouncy balls into the courtyard. At the busiest lunch for the next 2 weeks, bouncy balls everywhere, in classes, in the hallways and in that courtyard. The seniors had some idea to put watermelons covered in oil in the toilets to make them harder to get out, but then that didn't happen and instead one of the dumbasses decided to throw theirs in the large hallway crossway in the middle of the school. This prompted the other seniors to start throwing theirs and it turned into a giant watermelon throwing circle for no reason. There was no prank and the only thing that happened was it inconvenienced everyone in the school who needed to pass through there, as well as costing the seniors who started it their opportunity to go on the class Disney trip. Mayo. Class Disney trip? Took apart a Volkswagen and put it back together in library. Someone did this at my school except they put it around the flagpole out front. My first year of high school, the seniors put a cow up on the roof of the school. No idea how they got it up there. It was just up there one morning. I don't know how hard the school or board or whoever had final say tried, but they had no way to get it down so they had it euthanized. Poor cow. All you need is 4 wool socks, a mattress, and the will to make it happen. Someone put a fuck ton of crickets in the air vents of the biggest building on campus. It was annoying as hell for too long a period of time. Someone did that at my high school too. We were hearing crickets for days afterwards. I was sitting in ice, in school suspension. Our high school called it SAC, not sure why and this is important later, for a fight. It was quiet, but I could feel everyone was starting to get restless as it was 10 minutes before the bell would ring to dismiss us for the day and the beginning of spring break. Suddenly the door flew open and a flash of a person wearing a skin-tight neon green full body suit and a rainbow-colored clown wig leapfrogged over the teacher and began his 30 seconds of mayhem. He ran from partitioned desk to desk knocking over books, sending paper flying, and all while yelling, "I'm the crazy clown of SAC." The teacher attempted to tackle him but was unsuccessful. About a week later I was in court for the fight I was in that had landed me in SAC, and guess who was called up to talk to the judge before me? It was hilarious listening to the judge recant the tar. How does court and school go together? I'm currently a sophomore. Last year, the seniors decorated the school as an airport, brought suitcases, and started napping in the hallways throughout the day. Someone somehow got one of those military-grade smoke bombs, the kind they used to tell planes where to land, put it into a locker, and set it off. The entire hallway was filled with dense pink smoke. Nothing too crazy while I was there. The only 2 I can remember offhand were watermelons were put in some of the toilets, and someone put baby oil over a bunch of the classroom door handles. Lol. Got a bunch of disposable cell phones. The school's classrooms had ceilings with drop-down tiles, so we hid them scattered throughout the roof of a teacher everyone hated. Then throughout the day students in other classes would dial the numbers of the phones, let it ring a couple of times and then hang up so the teacher wouldn't have time to track them down. The teacher could never figure out where the phones were that were ringing non-stop that day. A multi-school scavenger hunt organized by our salutatorian that ended with a midnight multi-car chase up to the top the parking garage at Tampa Airport, and about 100 kids and 40 cars detained. No arrests. As a prank, the class of 2002 decided it would be hilarious to turn on every gas nozzle in the chemistry labs before leaving early for the afternoon. Our school was K-12, and the high school chemistry labs were right above the elementary school gym. I was in 4th grade, and I remember our teacher getting panicked when people started smelling gas, took us outside to have outside gym, and then we heard the school alarm go off shortly after that while everyone evacuated. They had to close the school for a day or two while they aired it out and had the city check for leaks. This was also 2002, so everyone of course thought it was a terrorist attack because yeah, our killer is going to blow your 5th grader up with a gas leak, Karen. When all of it finally came to light, everyone was thankful it wasn't terrorists, but again, why would it be, but also deeply confused as to what the prank was. Anyways, they never turned on the gas in those rooms again. When I took high school chemistry 7 years later, the nozzles were always completely off and we did no demonstrations that involved fire. The headmaster made it very clear that if any senior pranks happened he would ensure not a single person graduated, so nobody did anything foolish. Previous graduating years had ruined that one for us. A giant penis made of snow on the football field. One year someone opened a huge can of green beans and left it in the hallway. That was it. My school didn't have pranks in that if you did one you wouldn't graduate. However, they did have pranks where you could collaborate with admin to get what you wanted to do approved. Usually if it was good-natured they'd say yes. One year the seniors took over the teacher parking lot and had a cookout. Admin kept the student lot locked so teachers had to park at the ball field and walk, but they got breakfast courtesy of the seniors. A rock band made up of all seniors lugged their stuff to the roof and did a concert at lunch. Poured a whole bottle of fox urine into the air conditioning unit. How did they convince a fox to urinate in a bottle? Senior boys put our history teacher's car up on cinder blocks while our history teacher stood there and watched. Someone had several dead opossums cemented into their locker. Lol. Rural poverty late in high school meant the pranks were just vandalism. Someone spray painted swear words with class of 2001 on the street at the 4-way stop outside the school. Someone else slashed the tires on every other bus overnight right before the end of the year. Haha. Gotcha. Not bizarre, but my high school football team would haze the newer players. Well, this one time it made it to the news because they hurt one of the students rather badly. My school was always doing dumb shit. In high school, someone tried to jump scare our principal and ended up giving her a heart attack. Someone collected roadkill for weeks. Before school started one day, they put rotting carcasses on top of the ceiling tiles throughout the building. People were throwing up and we ended up getting out of school for a day or two. At our school, it was always stuff done in front of the whole school. Ridiculing the teachers a little, nothing too bad. But one of the senior prankers, without discussing it with the others, threw pies in the faces of 2 teachers. They were livid. I went to one school that was 7 through 12. Big classes. The senior ditch day my 7th grade year got a little out of hand. Apparently it was tradition for them to cause a distraction at one part of the campus and all the seniors would ditch from another when the teachers and security gathered. Kind of a cat and mouse type thing. That year they decided the distraction would be fireworks. Living close to the Mexican border, it's pretty easy to get a plethora even though they are illegal in my state. So they loaded up a dumpster with fireworks, set a battery powered alarm clock as the trigger for a few, thinking those going off would set off the rest. What they didn't plan on was a janitor locking the dumpster closed. The initial charges went off, setting the rest off in an enclosed environment. What was supposed to be a daytime fireworks display turned into a bomb that launched the dumpster at once.